What's up, VC? So, I'm here kicking it, chilling. A little ruckus in the background. We'll most certainly get to that, right? Let me, turn that down. Not being an asshole, my chick's sleeping in the other room, right? So, we're here. I'm hanging out. I'm comfortable. I'm feeling good, right? Hopefully you're feeling good. Hopefully everything's gravy, baby. Let me get some good posture here. I'm a man of good posture, or certainly attempt to. You know, certain habits you try to practice, like, usually don't wear a hat at the dinner table or around my mom in her house. This is my freaking house, so I'm gonna do what the freak I want. So I'm wearing a hat, courtesy of Grandpa. God bless Grandpa, R.I.P. Gramps. A hat via Pops. We're here shooting the breeze, right? So, last time we took a break, I don't fault you, it was mostly nerd stuff. A plethora, a myriad of music in the mix, but nonetheless we got a little nerdy with comic books and what have you. Whatever I wanted to show. Ant was a good partner in crime. Opened up. Pretty chill. Good conversation, right? Think he's gonna be one of those guys that the more he's in front of the camera, the more comfortable he is, right? So good times, him sitting down, right? So if you know, there was a brief introduction because Ant was on once upon a time when I tried to do punk rock and metal finds, right? Kind of a chunk of those, right? And I tried uploading that thing a dozen times. It just would not take. It was acting stupid. It wouldn't do right? So I just chopped down to like a 3-minute segment that I thought was a funny little part of the video. And, you know, because I don't edit. So I just chopped off 15 minutes and I chopped off 15 minutes and 3 minutes of silliness, right? So that was the introduction to Ant. And then we hung out last time and rock and roll, right? So amongst the nerd stuff, I totally forgot to show this Patrick Gleason Star Wars. Alright? So there's Patrick Gleason on some nonsense. This skull face, oh so appropriate for my lady. You know, we like skulls and butts. But, selections from the film performed on the world's most advanced synthesizer. So, that's what we forgot to show. Honorable mention, right? And if you can't tell by what's, how this is labeled, right? It is all punk rock finds, right? Everything in the realm of punk rock, right? So I'm going to paint a pretty bow on this, right? And so I'm going to kind of go chronological. These finds span over months. I understand that some people tune in for silliness. Some people tune in for recent finds only. Some people are metal bros that only hang out when it's metal time. Dave Schlarb and I have done a couple punk rock videos, and it's been a minute. Actually, there's going to be some overlap that I happen to find into that Dave Schlarb showed in the past. Alright? So cool beans on that, right? But dating back to Nashville, if you never saw it, this is the Sonics, right? This is proto-punk garage rock. So, yeah, this is a Record Store Day. I thought this was an appropriate drop because the next rendition of Record Store Day, Black Friday Record Store Day, is coming up, right? So, bam, there it is. The Sonics. And they're freaking kicking ass, right? In fact, the last time Ant was here, upon accident, we started playing and listening to some of this punk, and it's too late to do 2 videos in one night. So we're spinning some stuff, and this is one of the spins, and Ant made the assessment. It's like, dude, when was this? And I was like, bro, this is like 2016, 2017. In fact, right here, actually, it says West Seattle, Washington, 4/18/2015. So this band is deep into their career, kicking ass, right? So if you don't know the Sonics, fix yourself, right? And so some of this early stuff, I'm gonna get in. I'm probably gonna blow past, right? I got some of this newer stuff that is fancier presses and gatefolds, and you know, punk rockers, they like their fancy colored wax, right? So we'll get a taste of the fancy, but you know what's also not fancy? A Coors Light, right? So I figure since we're punk rockers, you know, tonight, this is a hey, cheers to anyone who's not and anyone who is. Rock on, right? But I barber on the side, and a buddy of mine brought over a completely, totally unnecessary 12-pack. I have a full bar, and so he just left them behind. He said, hey man, contribution to the house, and they've been sitting in the fridge forever and a day. And I figure Coors Light, man, unless it's just a straight edge show, you're hanging out with a bunch of punk rockers, you're probably going to see a lot of PBR, the little Pabst Blue Ribbon, a lot of Miller High Life, Maybe some Busch if you're in the Midwest. I don't know why. That's a Wisconsin fucking beer. It makes no sense to me. And Coors. Anyways, cheap beers, punk rockers, rock on, right? Anyone out there, VC, please feel free to put your 2 cents in what your cheap beer choice is, right? So, Sonics and reminiscing. Here we go, right? This Stooges is not the first press, but this is an early press on Elektra, right? And the main thing about it is it's just stupid freaking clean. The light is a ringwear. I don't know if I want to pay the additional jump in money to get a super OG press, but I found this at Pharmacy Records, the best place to find punk around town. And there it is, right? So you get in the proto-punk realm. I don't forgive me these first couple bands if I don't talk about it. If you don't know about the Sonics and the Stooges and the New York Dolls and things of this nature, then probably again not gonna know the rest of some of the stuff I get into. And I'm not that deep on punk knowledge. I'm eclectic and I listen to a bunch of different stuff. And so if you don't know the punk I'm spinning, then you probably don't like this and you're probably not watching this. And then if you just blow past it, you know everything, then you probably know a shit ton more than I do, right? So dating way back to the vinyl tag. I started the vinyl in the VC, right? What are you looking for? Is one of the questions, right? And I said, New York Dolls. Had it on CD, had it on cassette, don't own it anymore. And so I was on the hunt. I found live in Paris, was it 74 or 76? Found that at the old Cabin 4 Records, right? And then just recently, did this chronological, right? I can't recall if this was also Cabin 4 Records. I want to say this is a pharmacy find, right? Pink. Alright. You got time to donate. I'll leave a link, right? It's never too late. If you're catching this in the future and the contest is come and gone, hey, donate to someone, man. It's not about me or recognition, right? Donate to cancer, dude. Blue, if I'm not mistaken, dark blue is colon cancer, prostate cancer. One is light blue, one is dark blue. It doesn't matter, whatever the cause is. Be proactive. Check yourself, all that jazz. I don't want to rant on that. You guys are going to start skipping because it's going to sound like a broken record. Lord knows there's been a bunch of pink in the BC, right? So this is their debut. I want to say they went back-to-back, 73, 74. This is part of the finds. If you stuck around with me and my chick, showing stuff from Asheville, North Carolina, when we went to go see King Gizzard. This is their follow-up, right? So they were 2 and out, and live album. They came back years later, right? But so I like the New York Dolls. It was one of my agendas at the start of the year to find some New York Dolls, and I did, right? Another reason why I love local record stores, man, as cool as it is to hunt online, and I do that. I was just shooting the breeze with Frank at Pharmacy Records, and we were talking about music. I said, hey, dude, what you been listening to? What you been having a ear out for, or whatever? I was like, dude, you know what? I'd like to see. It's more accessible. You know, at one point, they were going for some money online, and now you seem to be able to find them. Is Death, right? This is a mid '70s black garage band that was just stern in their ways and didn't give a shit. All right, so this is kind of proto-punk, hard garage rock from the mid-'70s. And I told Frank, I was like, yeah, dude, what can you get it for? And it was within $1 or $2 what I could buy online. So I was like, hey, dude, take your cut. I'll just get it from you. I'll see you in a week or so anyways, right? So Frank grabbed this Death for me, and super happy to have it. It's a great spin. I wouldn't mind having their 2 immediate follow-ups after this, if I'm not mistaken, right? Alright, and then so that's a recent find. I haven't shown in any videos. And dating back to Nashville, I showed these, and I don't know who was watching back then, right? But the Dead Boys, right? And so these are my only 2 Dead Boys. And the reason I thought I'd sneak these in here, if you don't know, and you never gave me time, if you're here waiting for the new stuff that's coming down the line chronologically, the newer kind of hardcore, emo-core, metalcore, more ruckus type music, and you don't know the origins of some of your punk, if I'm not mistaken, it was Marky Ramone? I want to say Marky Ramone was quoted as saying the Sex Pistols stole their sound from the Dead Boys. Alright, so if you like the Ramones, who backed them and like their music, and if you like the Sex Pistols, who, I don't want to say accused, but, everyone kind of steals from everyone or is influenced by everyone to a certain degree, right? So if you like one or both of those, you might like that. So peep out the Dead Boys if you like, right? And I showed this also recently. This is not a repress. It's just that freaking clean. I took out the jacket just to put that gloss on it, right? Outside the indent, no real ring wear. This true Dead Mint birthday party, third album. And by the way, what all falls into proto-punk, post-night? Proto-punk's kind of easy because it's the origins of, right? But when you get into like that post-punk and post-hardcore and pre-this and all that little subcategories of how you want to describe it, kind of gets a little convoluted, right? But this is post-punk, early 80s Australian. Everyone should know it because it ties to Nick Cave. I want to say that Birthday Party is their third record. All right. This album right here is mostly forgotten in analogs of time, right? And there's a reason. There is an alternate cover to this. I'll flip around. This is not the front cover. This is the back cover, right? So this Uncle Sam, Heaven or Hollywood. Richard Riley is the only cat in the VC I've ever seen show this, right? This kind of fetches a pretty penny, right? So this album cover right here, quick flash and I'm gone. Nobody get their feelings hurt, right? So if you probably are a scroller and you're just going through 30-second increments, you might have missed that album cover. And if you're a snitch that's sensitive, get over it. It's just a little lady region, right? So no worries. Once again, a little peekaboo, right? So I want to say that this is... Let me see here. 87? I'm gonna go. This is about circa 87. Uncle Sam is described as kind of glam punk. They were a little too fast to be glam rock and like hair. They were too gritty to be that, but they weren't fast enough to be like thrash. They really didn't have a place, right? By the way, this is so weird. Like sometimes I'm like, my camera's like, where am I looking, right? Am I staring there? Am I staring there? Like, it's weird, right? My eyes are wandering, right? So, whatever. Hopefully, it feels like we're engaged. We're hanging out, right? So, to kind of continue this chronological mess, right? I know when some people are going to take some of these acts more serious, whether it's the origins or punk, or it goes on to more contemporary stuff, and people are really, rifling to it, and it's dope shit. Green Day is a band I grew up with, right? So I'm not going to apologize for it. This was also in Nashville. I want to say I got this at Grimy. For whatever reason, I always found it priced a few dollars more than this. And I want to say this was like $17 sealed. Still haven't even split it. I actually listened to this because my childhood cassette of this recently. I don't know why I haven't split this yet, because I actually have listened to this album since I've purchased it, just not via this format, right? So this is probably their 39 Smooth, Kerplunked. Most people think Dookie is their debut. It's not. That's their third album, but their breakthrough album. This would be their follow-up to this and the beginning and the end. Nimrod has some validity to that after this, but I'm pretty much done with Green Day after this. I'm really not trying to own anything post this, if I'm being frank, all right? I'm not putting down anyone did, but this is Green Day in their heyday, and it's actually deeper in their career. I want to say they started in like 1986 as a band called Sweet Children, if I'm not mistaken. So, probably why they were eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and they got in. Lord knows, I'm not discrediting Green Day, I like it and I own it, but they just shoved them in. There's so many other bands that do, and if I'm not mistaken, this might be a video in the near future, they probably within a day or two here, they're dropping the next inductees to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken, right? Pat Benatar, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, the three big snubs. Another thing, if you want to, while you're weighing in on what your cheap beer choice is, if you want to weigh in on your biggest snubs in history. By the way, look at the size of this chin. Good googly moogly. There's a reason I grew a beard. It looks like I got a fucking giant double chin. I don't. It's just a shadow of this burly chin. Alright, good googly moogly, right? Looking like a meathead, right? Had a fun time with this last video, right? Alright, so, yeah, Green Day aside. Let's move on forward, right? A band that Dave Schlarb likes to take credit for me getting the band Converge, right? It was really more Frank and Pharmacy Records and my boy Huey, right? But Guns Up, I will give him full credit, right? And a lot of times when you're discovering a band, a good way to go about it is through a compilation. And this is a compilation, double LP, 2002 to 2007, right? I showed this recently. If you go back and watch the Schlarb videos, he goes deeper into it. They're part of the whole Merrimack Valley linked to Boston, Massachusetts hardcore punk scene, right? So this is 2002 to 2007, right? Continuing our chronological kind of rundown, so to speak, in no particular exact demand and order, but more or less a broad stroke of being chronological, right? A band I like, I've shown recently. One of these two I've shown. The other one I haven't, right? The kind of punk rock record store in Asheville, if you get to go, would be Static Age, right? Everything's painted black. There's a bar there. There's a weird small stage where you cram in as many people as possible. It's going to be a tight fit. This is at the drive-in. Ties to Mars Volta. I like this. This is kind of in the realm of... How would I... art punk, if that makes sense. I would call this kind of post-hardcore art punk. And they cranked out a slew of music. And I want to say like this would be like their 4th or 5th EP. And then the surprise was, Frank's just a good dude at Pharmacy Records. I hate to keep on just touting him, but Joe and Frank, Kevin Floor and Pharmacy, I absolutely love those places. They're super good dudes, and I'd still support shopping at. I always forget their name because I respect them, but they're just not important to me. Those other guys are good dudes, and I want to support their businesses. But Horizon Records, I feel so weird always forgetting their name. Almost like I blocked it out, like they wronged me somehow. They're just not as good as other spots. Credit to the Jazz Room. If you're a jazz flipper, then there's things right there, right? So this at the drive-in, right? This is In Casino Out. Let me check. Yes, I am not wrong. In Casino Out. This would probably be their... this is probably circa 98-ish. I want to say this is their second full LP, right? So at the drive-in, this is still sealed. This was just a surprise. It's on clear vinyl. I haven't even split yet. This was literally just a gift given to me by Frank. I bought a stack recently. We were talking about punk. He knows I like at the drive-in. We were talking Mars Volta and all that. And he had a double at his house. He didn't even want to turn a profit. My boy literally just split it and gave it to me as a gift, right? Super cool. All right. In addition to that, what do we got going here, right? If I'm not mistaken, these are... tour presses for particular colors, right? So still the outer sleeve with the stickers, right? The original outer sleeves. I'll pull this one out because it's a tag fit. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Don't be like that now. Come on now. Work with me. All right, Blacklisted. I am a fan of this. Blacklisted is pretty dope. Philly-based band. This is probably... second album, let's call it 2009. This is No One Deserves to Be Here More Than Me. Alright? So, that's some ruckus. Saw in a video recently where it was commented where they always appreciate the gatefold is both utilized front and back, so that art goes all the way around. Lyric sheet. I like that it's down homey. The vocals on it is cool because this guy is particularly, he's not a baritone, this dude's a bass. And he's kind of like low and gravelly, and I really freaking like this music. It's not too in your face. It still has melodic elements, and the guy's voice reads clear, so you can actually hear it. So you don't. It's ironic that it has a lyric sheet, and you don't have to rely on it. All right, but you can read the lyric sheet while listening to music one time and have a good understanding of the lyrics, and then second, third listen, you'll have a full comprehension of it, right? So, I assume these are someone's baby. I don't know the full details of the band and their history, right? But memorialized via a footprint and a handprint on that splatter, is that purple-pink splatter, right? So, I think that's pretty dope. Okay, right on. Recent find at Pharmacy Records, which, by all means, I support all my Greenville record stores. But if you're looking for punk in particular, that punk and metal realm, Pharmacy is going to be your spot, right? Also, if you can't see by the marker here, if you can see it, it says Coke Bottle Blue. All right. This, I want to say the lead singer of Converge, who I know who does all the art, so I'm not saying, I think I'm saying on that. Converge, the lead singer, does all the art. I think he might have also been the artist that did the actual album cover art on this. I might be mistaken. If someone knows better than me, by all means, fill me in and let me know. But this is Killing the Dream. This is 2008. They're from Sacramento, California. This album is called Fractures, but you wouldn't know that because outside of the track listing with lyrics here. All right, this ties in, kind of wraps around to here, and then that wraps around back. So that's kind of neat. And if it was kind of split, it appears that if it was a multi-fold, they all kind of, no, I don't know. I don't believe so. Anyways, still dope art. I really like it. But if you don't know, there's absolutely nothing on the seam. The only thing it says right here in microscopic letters is Death Wish Music LLC, deathwish.com, blah, blah, blah. Death Wish releases are available on Fine, blah, 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 independent worldwide. Deathwish.com. Again, there's no years. There's no name of the artist. There's no name of the album. The inner sleeve is plain white. It is on kind of soda bottle blue glass with a little bit of a green tinge. And if you can't tell by the front label and the back label, it's one of those horrendous, annoying things where you have absolutely no idea what the A-side is. You have no idea what the B-side is. The dead wax gives you very little information. But, yeah, rock on. It is what it is. But I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's this is kind of, like I say, hardcore with like melodic emo tendencies. Let me, 1 second. Figure I might as well flip the record. Let me get back to this real quick. Flip to it. I want to say that side 2 has Have Love Will Travel. I want to say that was on a commercial or the start of a credits of a TV show. It's very recognizable. But Hardway, Psycho, The Witch, I Don't Need No Doctor, and Strong. Even if you're not terribly familiar with this band, excuse the burp, drinking cheap beer, you should know those tracks, right? So, alright, I was giving a little rundown on this before I wrap it up, right? It almost has like little bit of riffy, poppy, 90s alternative guitar influence segues into the hardcore. So once the vocals, kind of scream-oriented hardcore vocals, it is what it is. Once it gets into the hardcore, it's hardcore, but its transitions and breaks and entries and exits in and out of songs and into chorus or whatever can have a little bit of kind of melodic emo type jazz to it. Give it a listen, right? So a little bit more complexity than just straight screaming in your face. Some tracks, the vocals are way more clear than others. I wish there was consistency in the clarity of the vocals. Whereas when I was talking about that Philly-based group Blacklisted, which would be the exact same era, like 2008-ish, 2009-ish, that other album is distinct clarity, even though the vocals are completely different. That guy, his album, throughout the album, you can hear the vocals crystal clear, track to track, equally, right? All right, so that's the rundown on that. And then Converge, let me pull these out of, you know what? Whatever. This is the most recent Converge. This is 2017. I got this at with a stack of completely eclectic, even for me, eclectic stack at Lunchbox, right? If you want to see me pull it out and show the big jacket and everything like that and all the business that's in there, then go back and watch that record, right? I'm going to try to tie this up in 25-ish, right? So this is 2017. This is most recent, right? When I was first discovering the band, I figure a good way to do that is a comp. So when I did the comp, this comp right here for Converge is 2003. I want to say it's, let me see here. Unloved and Weeded Out. I knew it. Just trust your brain sometimes, Eric. But so, Unloved and Weeded Out, 14 tracks. What's cool about this is that you can see right here that some of them are demo, live in California, right? So there's a myriad of different stuff going on here. But they're all kind of rare tracks on albums that you don't find pressed as easily. And then also some unreleased stuff. So even though it is a comp, it's a great way to discover an early part of their catalog / undiscovered gems. So this is not your typical comp, but it's a great way to discover the band, and it's the early era of their music, right? So early era, the slam smack in your face most recent stuff they've possibly done, right? And then Jane Doe would be 2001-ish. Unfortunately, it just got bought out from underneath me. A first press on alternate color at pharmacy. I wish I got there first. And then these date back to pre my contest. I'm not buying records this month, but who knows what I'm missing out on right now. But this Converge is Axe to Fall. This is 2009. You can see how the art kind of relates, you know? But so, same thing right here. Gatefold inside and out. Alright? Are both art tied in. It's super cool. The inner jacket. There's this is the original inner sleeve not being utilized because it has a wax lined one there. I believe Frank at Pharmacy threw in because he, like I say, prides himself in this music. There's that kind of no, this is not translucent anyway. This is solid dark. This is baby blue. Axe to Fall 2009. I want to say it's in a couple different color variants. But there we go. And I guess I didn't even speak on Converge because I assume that if anyone got to this point where they're listening to this ruckus, they either already know, they're going to look it up themselves, or whatever it is. But Converge is kind of a hardcore meets metalcore. And I'm out. That's it. Actually, what do you know, man? Your boy actually rambled about a topic and then just tell dick jokes and what have you, right? So cheers to you if you're tuning in. If you want to make a donation or if you want to make a video for this pink nonsense, and I don't mean it nonsense, definitely not dismissive. Cancer is an issue and hopefully we can tackle it in our lifetime. But, hey, thanks to you. Rock on. Cheers. All that jazz, all that metal, all that punk. Sonic's in the background. You can still find this for cheap. It's a dope spin. I don't know how well it's showing up, but now I'm just rambling, shooting past 25 minutes. That's unnecessary. Y'all be good.